I saw myself doing these things and I couldn't stop it. It got messier in my 20s. I was plagued all the time with suicidal thoughts, constantly with like whisper of, you should kill yourself. So it was a weekend and it was 100 people in one room. Most people throw up. People come and like will take away the vomit. I'm in this beautiful forest. This beautiful doorway appears. So I walk over and the doorway disappears. And then there's a mountain and then a doorway appears there. I guess door number 2, I'm gonna go over there. Walk that way, door disappears again. Third door, the ground opened up. A pathway went down into like scary ass door appeared. I just started shaking and I'm like, I can't do this. She had like encapsulated herself to protect herself and was causing all this chaos. She wouldn't let anything in. She wouldn't let anything grow. Like everything was just dead around.
I'm Ashley.
And I'm Maddie.
And this is the Newport Psycho.
Ow, ow. So this is definitely going to be one of our most interesting psychos today. At least I think so.
I feel like it should have like that kind of thriller sound, you know, where it's like
because it's, you guys will see. So we're joined today by Miss Krystal Rose. Thank you for thank you for being on our thank you for having us be in your presence, Krystal.
You're so welcome.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so it's funny. Obviously, whenever you interview with someone, you answer that question. And it's always a typical like, well, I'm Krystal. I'm a rapid transformation therapist and I'm a business owner. But I really wanted to bring that spiciness to this podcast.
Bring the heat.
Yeah, and it reminded me of my experience with psychedelics, ayahuasca.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked the question, like I had the intention of finding out who am I? And so when I asked the question, and I'll talk more about the whole ayahuasca experience, there was no answer for that. And it freaked me out so much. I thought like, I don't have an identity. I don't know who I am.
Who am I?
Yeah. Though I ended up concluding that I'm an alchemist, which means that I can be whoever the hell I want to be. And I'm constantly changing. And that gave me such a huge sense of peace of like, I don't need to have a status, a title, any of that stuff. Just like all that pressure to have that is just gone. And so now that I believe that when I get to ask that question, I'm like, what answer do I give?
You're like,
I don't know what to say.
It's like select all apply and you're like all of the above.
It's
I'm
literally
a spiritual human being passing. No,
yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that.
I love that. You're an alchemist.
I'm an alchemist, baby.
Okay.
So, Krystal, who or what is your psycho?
Okay, so I mentioned I'm a rapid transformation therapist, and what I do is subconscious therapy. So I'm obsessed. My psycho is absolutely biohacking the subconscious mind.
See, I told you guys this is going to be the most interesting podcast.
Biohacking the subconscious mind.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
Okay. I know people are like, hey, Gemini, hey, ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. I'm just like recording this. Like, tell me what the hell this means.
Biohacking the subconscious mind.
Yeah.
Okay, how did you start doing this?
So I'll make this a very short story, but I am a survivor of mental illness. And I don't like to say that it's a disease or I was labeled at 14 that I would be chronically depressed forever, which someone should never tell that to anybody. Like, hey, you're
at
suffering.
14?
At 14.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So you're just going to be like depressed.
Yeah, there may be this. I remember the psychiatrist who saw me for 15 minutes saying, you're going to have this forever and you need to take medication for the rest of your life. And so, yeah.
Ouch.
What?
Yeah. So on top of that, it was a difficult childhood, you know, a lot of things going on with my parents. There was some traumatic events that I went through, which led me on this path of depression. I didn't really know where it was coming from at the time when I was younger, but depression, insomnia. So at 15 years old, I had sleeping problems. I could not sleep.
Oh.
So not being able to sleep added to the depression. So it kept me in the cycle.
Of course.
I didn't have the proper care from my medical providers, Western medicine, or my therapist. My mother did not know what to do. She was suffering with her own mental illness at the time too. a lot of chaos going on. I was in a blended family. There's 5 kids, all a year and apart, like 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Holy moly.
it was a messy. I call my teenage years messy and depressy. So,
messy and depressy.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to do a podcast labeled that, but I'm like,
messy and depressy.
Messy and depressy.
It's on brand, girl. It's
shirts
on
made
brand, girl.
and some hats.
That's cute.
We're gonna hashtag this show messy and depressy.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Gosh,
yeah.
girl.
So it got worse exponentially because he kept giving me different medications. Because I was depressed and had ADD, I was not consistent with the medication. So it kind of made it worse. I don't remember my senior year in high school. It was a blur. I barely, like, for instance, I was taking a driving test, almost hit a car, ran through a red light. I don't even remember it. Like, I was pretty much high a lot of my senior year.
And this was because of the medication that was prescribed?
Yeah. And the medication was to help me because I was also suicidal, and I got instituted twice. It was messy and depressing.
Okay.
Yeah,
you know what? But I love that you've made, like, now, I don't want to call like comical a term, but like you've made it where it's not like your identity. It's not like it's not you.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up because it was such my identity for such a long time. I definitely clinged on to it. Mm-hmm. And I realize now why I did it. And I'll explain how I uncovered that. Or if I don't, remind me.
Yeah.
I uncovered that. But the habits that I created, the environment that I was in, it was all cultivating me to stay stuck, to me to not be able to manage anything. And so it was pretty bad. Okay. So fast forward, in college, I wanted to get better. I made a commitment. Like, I want to get better. I want to live a good life. Mm-hmm. So I, found self-development, and I learned about positive thinking, and I learned all these good stuff that we kind of already know now. And I felt like I was two people. Like, I felt like I was trying really hard to bring this persona and to evolve. And at night, still couldn't sleep. At night, I was just this anxious, depressed person who every night I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to do this for the next 50 years. It was a struggle. Man. Yeah. So self-medicated a lot. Mm-hmm. I think around 16 years old, I found NyQuil, and I was drinking a quarter to a third a bottle a night just to go to sleep, to try to sleep.
Oh my God.
They would get, yeah.
I know ZQuil is fully just Benadryl. Like, it's like, that's what it is. It's like 50 milligrams of Benadryl. That stuff is
not good for the brain, by the way.
No, like you shouldn't
or the liver or anything.
And then NyQuil, you shouldn't be taking that every night to sleep. That's not what it's for.
And especially 2/3 of a bottle.
It was a lot. And I saw myself doing these things, and I couldn't stop it, knowing that I'm hurting myself, knowing that's not going to change, but like trying really hard to force myself. Actually drinking alcohol. It got messier in my 20s. I did get married. So I was married before. Mm-hmm. I had the home, I had a corporate job. I made 6 figures. I was traveling national, like on paper, I looked good, but I started having anxiety attacks driving home, driving to work. So I just felt like I was living this lie of I'm not okay. Mm-hmm. And when I went to go get help, the therapist would, not the therapist, but the psychiatrist would immediately just prescribe me something. And I'm like, I don't want pills, man. I want to get better.
Like, they're quickly to throw meds at you.
Yeah. And I get why they do.
Right.
So it's not like, Western medicine's like, the worst thing ever. It's just, it wasn't solving the problem. Mm-hmm. It was just putting a Band-Aid for me to keep functioning in life.
Yeah.
Some people need that. And so I'm not against prescription medications.
No, but like there's other alternatives. Like obviously my degree is in Western medicine, but I'm very much open to like a more like naturopathic.
Yeah.
Where like I like a blend.
Which is why I love you guys.
Yeah. Because like certain situations, I think that, sorry, you have like an infection or like something like that. Like you want Western medicine, right? Other things where it's like depression and other things, like, can we take more natural supplements? Can we do other natural things to try to actually help with the symptoms, not just a pill to alleviate it?
Yes. And I think there's certain points I absolutely needed those damn pills because I was low and I was psycho, like not the good psycho. I was. You
were like textbook, like Webster Dictionary
I had psychosis
psycho.
Big time.
Yeah.
Like I was not okay. And again, aware of it, but couldn't stop it.
Yeah.
So
correct.
medication at that point got me to like a baseline.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get past the baseline. So in my By the way, I'm 39, so I'm like taking you through
39 and fine.
Oh shit!
That's when you know we're meant to have a podcast
that's
together.
How you know
we're best friends.
Wow! All right, Tia and Tamara over here. That's
You're
awesome.
too much.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
That's great. I love that. I hope I'm 39 and fine forever.
You are. You look great.
Thank you. So now we're in the 30s. Got divorced. I asked my husband for a divorce because I said, "You're not okay." He was depressed too in a different way, but wouldn't do anything about it, and just wasn't on board with like, let's get healed kind of thing. So I asked for a divorce. I said, "You deserve your kind of life. Like, I need to fix here my head and heart." And so things got worse before it got better, but eventually. Also, let me tell you, I told you I felt like I was living that double life.
Yeah.
I was coaching, mindset coaching, self-development coaching through all of this.
Wait, that's crazy.
Trying to help people get better.
Well, you're like feeling like you're trapped inside, like you can't get better. And you're trying to help people get better.
Absolutely. So then I had
that must have been a cluster.
Syndrome.
Yeah, that must have been, I was about to say.
Girl, I can see why I couldn't sleep at night because I was just like all of these thoughts in my head. I'm like, I'm trying to help. I'm trying to do good. Tony Robbins said this, and all these gurus are saying this is how you become productive, and this is how you can. And it on paper would show like I got promoted quickly. I was always the best salesperson. I was always charming in the life of the party.
But inside you felt you were dying.
I was fucking dead inside. I was just this blackness.
We had like a similar like situation. We had a Brandy Martinez on the show. Yeah. And it was like the people we talked about, like how, like, especially with addicts, like the people that you're least likely think that they would be an addict, some like turn out to be them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like you all automatically think like, and I'm not trying to be stereotypical, but when people think of like a psycho, like when you're like, I'm psycho, you think of somebody like off the rails, like, like in a full psychosis, like, not somebody that has their life together, that is trying to help other people going through that, and you're going through your own thing. It's just like, it just shows you really don't know what somebody's going through behind closed doors.
You don't know. And the work that I'm in now is just everybody is going or has been through something, and that programming that they had from that instance or that perception that they got is still running the show. So everyone's going through something.
Yeah.
Still feeling like an imposter, trying to help people, getting frustrated. And mind you, since 15 until early 30s, I was plagued all the time with suicidal thoughts, constantly with like whisper of, you should kill yourself. Even when shit was going good. Like, I remember I was in Thailand, I was on this boat, I was single, divorced, living my best life in my 30s on a boat with a bunch of 20-year-olds.
Literally living it up.
I was living it up. And it was just like a perfect moment. It was New Year's Eve, Thailand. We're going to go to this full moon party afterwards. And I was just thinking, wow, this is beautiful. And then it's just like a voice, like, you should kill yourself. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And so I eventually had to stop drinking because that voice would get louder, and I would try.
You would try to do it.
Yeah, I would try or have that feeling and just like freak out and ask for help. It's like to strap me down or something. It was, and so I'm just like, okay, Krystal, you can't keep living like this. Like, you're living your best life. You're living the best life. What people imagine it, and you're still in pain. Like, this isn't okay. So then I went on a mission to figure it out. Talk therapy didn't help. Medicine was helpful, but didn't help. And so I ended up asking God to reveal to me like ways to help. When I say God, I grew up Christian. I'm not a practicing Christian. I subscribe to, I know that God, there's a higher power. And I didn't have clarity at the time of what that meant, but I asked for help. And then all of a sudden, over a course of a year, like 10 people talked about ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is a plant. It's used as a medicine, very ancestral type of, it's been around. It's ancient medicine.
Right.
So
is it like everywhere? Is it everywhere, like, or is it specific country?
So it's mostly in the Amazon. So Peru is most well known for it, but I know Colombians use it. And there's actually different forms of the same type of, it's not ayahuasca, the root, but the same the reaction or it's psilocybin essentially. So
like so psychedelic.
Yeah, it's psychedelic. So there's different types of
plant,
psychedelics,
right?
Yeah. So it's a root. There's different types of psychedelic medicine that's psilocybin. There's DMT. There's natural DMT. There's man-made DMT, and there's a lot of stuff. Like we know a lot of these things for recreational drugs, party drugs. These native plants and the way that they're administered, there's a very sacred process for that, and I always highly recommend, like, if you're going to do plant medicine, you should go to the source and go with the people who literally spend their whole life studying it and knowing how to produce it. So,
like a shaman.
The shamans, yeah.
So this might be a stupid question, but like with these, is it like ingested? Do people like?
It depends.
Okay.
Yeah.
You actually had a journey with ayahuasca.
So when I finally made the decision to do ayahuasca, I did a lot of studying before. I looked in the States first. There wasn't a lot of options that seemed to really go above and like really follow everything and like make sure you're taken care of. Like I looked at, there's a place in Florida, there's 100 people. So it was a weekend and it was 100 people in one room. Most people throw up on ayahuasca. Most people are not having a fun experience.
Yeah, no, I don't.
So to be with 100 other people
in
like,
one room,
fuck that. Sorry. Yeah.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, that just sounds horrible. Yeah.
Imagine people like pooping and throwing up everywhere. No. Absolutely not.
I mean, they can walk up. They can get up and leave. Like they're not just like sitting there and vomit. Like
no,
they'll most likely throw up. People come and like we'll take away the vomit. You get a vomit bucket.
Yeah.
They give you hopefully.
And how much do people pay for this?
It's usually about hundreds to thousands of dollars. So that was what I saw in Florida. There's a few.
And you're throwing up hundreds of thousands.
And you're throwing up in a room.
Hundreds to thousands.
Oh, I was like,
sorry.
Oh, I was like hundreds of thousands, and you're throwing up in a puke bucket.
Yeah. Hundreds
to
thousands of dollars.
Okay.
You could also get a much more luxury experience. Costa Rica is really popular.
Okay, I've heard of Costa Rica and Peru being very popular.
I forget the names, but Costa Rica, they have this one place. I'm not going to even say the name because there's mixed reviews. Some people swear by it. A lot of famous people will go there.
Okay.
And some people come back and say that it's not the vibe. Like
not life-changing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's just not life-changing. Probably life-changing, but just not in the way that they thought, or just
right.
They might be overpaying.
Right.
So I chose a place in Peru. This place is as authentic as you can get while still being habitable. Like my bathroom was a bucket with sawdust, but I did have my own hut.
Oh my God, how cute!
And there was definitely like bugs and stuff that were in the hut. Like you had to really want it.
Yep.
Well, but you did. I mean, you had this voice in your head that was like an unnecessary evil for you. That was like telling you to do things.
I had to get rid of that voice.
You had to get rid of it.
Yeah.
So tell us about your experience.
Tell us about that.
Okay. So first of all, when you're going to do any type of medicine, you need to clean your body. A lot of places will say 3-day detox. I went, this place said 2 weeks. I went 3 months.
Wow.
Alcohol, obviously, any type of recreational drug, prescription drugs. So I was on prescriptions. I talked to if you're hearing this, don't just stop taking prescriptions. I went and talked to my psychiatrist and I said, I'm getting off medication. I'm going to do ayahuasca. This is my process. This is why I'm doing it. I want to go find the root cause of why I have suicidal thoughts, why I'm depressed. Like, period. That's it. I need you to help me or else I'm going to do it on my own, and I'm not going to do it wrong.
Yeah, you're either hopping on this or you're not.
Yeah. So she helped me. She helped wean me off, and she said, best of luck. And she believed in integrative medicine. So she was on board, but she was also like super reluctant because she was scared that it might make it worse. And again, for your listeners, it can make it worse. If you have psychosis at the time, if you have certain types of like bipolar, schizophrenia, like you should not be anywhere near this stuff. So you really do need to talk to a doctor. You need to make sure the place you're going to is legit. If they're not sending you pages of questionnaires of medical questions, don't go to them.
Yeah.
Okay. If they're just like,
great, I love that.
We'll take your money. Don't drink alcohol for 3 days and then come by. No. There's special diets that you need to do.
Wow.
So you were in preparation for 3 months and then you decided to do it. And how was that?
Well, I decided to do it and then I did the preparation. Oh, sorry. This is the same thing. So then I went there. I planned to be there for 2 weeks, and I was going to do, I think it was 9 or 10 sessions, which is a lot.
How long were you there?
I was there for 12 days.
12 days?
Yeah.
And that's 9 to 12 sessions of actual like ayahuasca?
Yeah. And the ayahuasca, so you take it, I prefer the evening. There are some day sessions, but usually people do it in the evening time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The light does something to you.
Yeah, take me through like the whole process of it.
Okay. So
you smoke it, you eat it.
They boil it, and they mix the ayahuasca root with another plant. I forget the plant name. That other plant is a little bit of a laxative, or it can be. But it makes the potency work, or it makes So that's why people tend to need to use the restroom. I was pretty fortunate where I think it was because I dieted for 3 months.
Your body's like, I can handle anything.
You're like, I ain't got nothing to get rid of. Yep.
Yeah. So it's a ceremony. So we go into this place called the Maloka. It's basically like a large hut. It's the shaman spends the day before all morning cleansing it, making sure no evil spirits come through or negative energy, whatever you want to call it. There's a ritual beforehand to cleanse your body. So the shaman also makes a special bath with different herbs and plants based off what you're trying to achieve. So mine was depression. Maybe someone else, there was really cool experiences, but someone else was trying to heal ancestral trauma. Someone else was trying to get over a breakup. Like everyone was there for different reasons. So based off your reason, the shaman would make different baths for you.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. So then you go in, once you're all clean, you come in dieting too, because most people do purge. So we want to make sure you're not like purging like a whole ass meal.
Yeah.
There's beds laid out. You get your own bed. Some places have multiple singers. Some people have multiple shamans. Music is very critical. It's not like there's playlists that you can find on Spotify for ayahuasca journeys, but the person the shaman or the ayahuasquero, if you're in Peru, they don't like to be called shamans. They think that's like a witch and they're healers, so they're called ayahuasqueros.
Oh,
but
ayahuasqueros?
Ayahuasquero.
Okay. Oh, ayahuasquero.
Yeah, ayahuasquero.
Yeah.
I hope I'm saying it right. Don't
I've
butcher me, guys.
I butchered it too.
No, yeah.
I'm not even gonna try. Oh my god, I don't want to say it wrong.
Ayahuasquero. No.
Yeah, right. That's probably what I would say.
Yeah. So the ayahuasquero says a few chants before, and it's really just prayer. He just prays for like 6 hours over you guys, helping to guide your journey. So you come and receive the ayahuasca. So you get about a cup.
So it's a drink.
It's a drink.
Hey, I was right.
Yeah.
There you go. Ayahuasca pro.
Do we have ayahuasca bingo? You get a point.
Yeah.
So you drink the drink?
So you drink the drink. It does not taste good. It's not great. Some people like it. I think I can't drink Merlot, or I can't drink red wine after it. It reminds me too much of it. So
kind of almost has like a tannic taste.
It's like,
like where it's like super bitter.
It's like when
it's a little bit bitter.
Party too much on something and throw it up, and then you can never have it again.
Yeah,
you know
that's
that's
it.
Malibu for me.
So
sorry,
that's like every liquor these days. Shit. So you drink it, and then you go back and you do this and say a little prayer and like hope you make it. No.
I was about to freak out. I just sent you in the wild. You're just like, all right, see you later. Peace.
She didn't come back.
We'll
She
leave
did
a
not
candle
come back.
and you can find your way back. You lay down, and then it's just supposed to be quiet. I like to put on a mask. I think a lot of other people recommend that you you kind of want to make it as dark as possible.
Okay.
So if you have a lot of fear, maybe you don't want to do that. So they leave some candles on because they do want it dark. The ayahuasquero and the facilitator. So the facilitator was Western. He was, I think, from Oregon or Washington, and he lived there. But so they stay in, and then there's three or four other people, helpers. It takes about 30 minutes to an hour for it to sink in.
Okay.
And so you're listening to the chanting going on. You're with your thoughts, and there's the experience itself is you have to, the first hurdle is surrendering, because you start to feel the psychedelics start to happen. Like I remember like opening my eyes and then starting to see colors. I'm like, oh shit, it's happening. And I'm like, all right, I'm ready. And so then it just all went dark. And like I saw colors did you guys ever see The Princess and the Frog?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, like the voodoo, like the cute, colorful creatures in the dark, like they're cute, but also scary as hell.
Yeah.
I started seeing like kind of those things. And then I saw this huge shadow man appear.
Oh no.
And I was just like, oh shit, I'm out, because I have a history of sexual trauma, and I knew that was going to come up.
Oh no.
And so I saw this big man, and I really got just like afraid. And before I could open my eyes, like he just got like dragged away, and it just got the whole thing that I was seeing just cleared up, and I was in a forest, like a beautiful, calm forest. And I'm like, what? And to me, what I realize now is like, this is not what we're working on today. You came here to find out what your depression, the source of your depression.
Interesting.
I was focusing on the trauma of things, but that's not what happens. Like we create perceptions based off her traumas. So we needed to go where I created the perception. I didn't know that at the time, but I was learning this experience. I'm kind of providing you feedback on what that is. So I'm in this beautiful forest, and then this beautiful doorway appears. It's like a portal. I'm like, okay, I'm going into the doorway. And so I walk over, and the doorway disappears. I'm like, okay, that was weird. And I turn to another direction, and then there's a mountain, a beautiful mountain with moss, just like really calm and serene. Yeah. And then a doorway appears there. I'm like, okay, I guess door number 2, I'm going to go over there. Walk that way, door disappears again. Then
hell no.
Yeah, I'm just like, all right, this is not what I signed up for.
Open the door.
Yeah.
Open the door. I'd be like, at this point, I'm tired. What is going on?
It would not be good on ayahuasca.
I would not be good. I'm so impatient. I'd be like, the door. I'd get so mad.
I'm so intrigued. Kate, did you find a door?
So another doorway appeared. So these beautiful doors appeared and disappeared.
The third door,
the ground opened up.
Oh.
A pathway went down into like the depths.
Oh no.
And the scary ass door appeared, and I'm like, oh hell no.
I don't want to go in that door.
Yeah. And so then for 10 minutes, I can remember I opened my eyes and I was back in the room, and I just started shaking, and I'm like, I can't do this. And so I had all this fear. And so here's where the transformation comes from. It's not from seeing the visuals, by the way.
Yeah.
Like the visuals are cool and scary. It's nice. But it's the facing the fear of like, Krystal, you flew all the way here. Like you told yourself, this is do or die. Go down the path. Doesn't matter what's behind there. You're going down.
Damn, girl.
Yeah. So I like suck it up. Crying.
I would too.
Close my eyes back right where I was left to. And I went down into the pathway. And like I got to the door, and I literally went like a little jump into it. And then I was in another place. It was dark, but it was like super peaceful. I'm like, oh, that wasn't that bad. Yeah. I'm like, okay. So that's what it felt like to surrender. Cool. Surrender to the process.
So basically jumping into that door was like your own surrender, like your own confidence in yourself was like, I can take this leap.
Yes. It was I understand I'm afraid, but it's baby, if you want it, like you have to be willing. You just literally surrender. And I physically felt myself surrendering. And that's the first time I ever felt like what surrender was.
Wow.
And then what did that lead you to?
The reward was peace. But okay, then the story gets gnarly. And I know we have some short time, so you might have to tune in for the next episode. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Okay, so
our listeners like, oh hell no, girl, you better tell.
Yeah.
You better tell us right now.
Get maybe down to like the nitty.
Yeah. So the nitty gritty is my intention was, what's the source of my depression?
Right.
Why am I always sabotaging myself? Why would I in my life I would be salesperson of the freaking year nationwide for my company. The first 6 months I'm there, and then I just completely I can't get out of bed, and I'm not going to I'm like, why do I keep sabotaging myself? Relationships, blah blah blah. So that was my intention, was to find out what the root cause of my depression. So when I was in the underworld or the spirit world, whatever you want to call it, it was so peaceful. And then, so I'm walking through, and I start to see that there's this chaos going off in the side. What turns out is my child self was, she had like encapsulated herself to protect herself and was causing all this chaos. She wouldn't let anything in. She wouldn't let anything grow. Like everything was just dead around. Like she was causing all these things. And I can tell that she was afraid. Like I could feel everything because the person was me. So I could feel all these things. And
So you were like a third party point of view,
I was like,
looking at yourself.
I was like a third,
looking at your adolescent self.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I saw her, like it was myself, but also I felt like nurturing, like her mom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought like, oh my God, this baby's been stuck in there. Like she put herself in here and she doesn't understand what she's doing. Like she's hurting herself and she thinks she's protecting herself. So all of this, I'm processing all these different thoughts and I'm like, oh, I need to save her. So, to make a long story short, and what I ended up understanding was I've been trying to fight so hard to suck it up, buttercup, to put on, to do everything right, to do all the self-development, to fight. But I've been doing it all out of fear. And what this little girl needed was love and safety. And she didn't know what that was. So in my experience, I ended up stopped trying to fight and like battled and like rip her out of that place that she was at. And basically,
was she like physically, visually, like what you were seeing? Was she physically in something?
She was. So it was just like, it reminds me of like Lord of the Rings, Mordor. First of all, if you're a geek and you know what that is, it's not a cute place. So very creepy and ominous. And she was in basically like a hard cocoon with vines and spikes that were shooting out of it. And then like she could like shoot thunderbolts and fire. It was just like really creepy, like scary. So I basically had to tell, like, I would yell at her. I'm like, I'm not going to fight with you anymore. Like, I'm not going to fight. You don't have to fight. I'm just going to, do you want to play?
I was going to say, how'd you take her out of it?
Yeah. So every time I try to get closer, she would actually whip me away with the vines.
Oh.
And so when I told her I was going to stop fighting, I told her, I'm just going to be here and play. And then this beautiful little stream appeared and like these trees, like straight out like Snow White, kind of very fairy tale appeared. And I stepped into the water and I said, well, I'm just gonna be over here. Like, you know, if you want to come out, you can come out, kind of thing. And all of a sudden, like the ball that she was in, the vines, they all kind of just calmed down and it turned into a very light color. And she was kind of like in the sky and the ball went down and it kind of opened up and I could see like her silhouette. And I said, it's okay. You don't have to come out if you don't want to, but you don't have to fight anymore. Like if you want to play and you want to come here, you can, but you can stay there. So I was basically trying to make her feel safe. And she came out and it just like the whole environment just brightened up, like this beautiful, like the sun came out and birds are singing and we're just playing in the river together or the stream. And it's just like genuine childhood. Like I felt like genuinely like, oh, like I had a childhood again. And I felt just innocent, having fun,
happy.
Like just happy. And I'm just like, oh, this is what it's like. So I'm getting all these insights. I'm like, God, that's what surrendering was like. This is what just being a kid feels like with no expectations, with not being afraid. And so when she felt joy, I felt joy. When she felt safe, I felt safe. And
so it was your inner child.
It was my inner child. So we're connected to our inner child. So even though as an adult, I've learned all these things on self-development and thinking positive and even the aspects of religion of like God can heal all things.
Yeah.
It couldn't resonate with me because my inner child was still scared as fuck. She had blocked everything out and couldn't trust anything that was being seen. So nothing ever connected. So when I've noticed this, before you leave the experience of the plant medicine, you get tested. So what happened, vines shot out of the ground, kind of like how it was before. It was chaotic. Yeah. And I'm like, oh no, she's scared again. I'm like, damn, it didn't work. And what happened, they were shooting at both of us and she just kind of turned around like with her little hands and just like pointed up. And
kind of like Baby Yoda?
Yeah, like Baby Yoda. And she just stopped everything.
Like Baby in The Mandalorian?
Yoda. What
like
was
in
it?
The Mandalorian.
What's that? What's his
Grogu.
name? Grogu.
No, is it Grogu? No.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it is Grogu. But he's like, You know?
Like,
like in the most innocent way, like, no, we're done. Like, just
I
stopped
love
it.
that. I love that visual for me.
Yeah.
Grogu, no.
It's like, wow, you have a lot of power.
Dude, that's so cool.
Yeah. And then what's I think even cooler is, so it stopped, then it turned into light.
Ooh.
So this
I like this part.
Yeah, turned into light. Then she turned into light, and I'm over here on the side, just like, what the fuck?
You're literally seeing it from a third party point of view. You're like, I'm looking at my child. I'm looking at I'm looking at myself.
Yeah, I'm looking at myself. She's able to stop the chaos. She's able to turn it into light. Dude. And I was just like, and I remember in my mind thinking, like, holy shit! I'm like, you are love and you are light. And I started crying.
No,
because I'm like, oh, I'm love and light. And so when she did that, her whole body just turned into like a glowing white light. Then she started floating around, and then she went in me. And I felt like this. And I was just like, oh my God.
It happened.
Yeah. And so when she went inside, I was just like, I know this anchoring technique, which I teach my clients, but anchoring is, you can anchor to something good, anchor to something bad. So I had a little bit of consciousness, and I was just like, I'm anchoring this in.
Like, yep.
So I started tapping, and I'm like, you are love, you are light. And I remember saying it like, you are love, you are light, you are love, you are light, you are safe, you are loved, you are protected. And so that was the end of that experience. And I remember waking up, and I was just like, oh my God. And I just felt such release.
Yeah.
And it was, I felt amazing. And then to end it, I sat up and I threw up in my bucket.
You're like, I have to vomit all my whole life.
And then you needed the bucket.
Then I needed the bucket.
Dude,
you know what? Dude,
I'm like mind blown. I'm like, you're seeing horror. You're seeing freaking vines. She's seeing
but
like,
you felt healed after, correct?
It was so healing.
Uh-huh.
It was ridiculous, because it doesn't matter. Again, it doesn't matter what happened. Bad stuff. Some people went through some really crazy stuff, and some people, but it's the perception we got in our mind. My perception was, I am not safe, and I need to block. Basically, I blocked everything out because I didn't feel safe from I didn't even share what happened, but it doesn't matter. I felt not safe, and because of that, I was creating all this chaos, because I created the belief at 5 years old that I needed to block everything out, that nothing is safe, so I need to sabotage everything.
And that's because that's how you felt at 5.
Mm-hmm.
You said you had an experience, and that's
exactly. I'm 5 years old. I have no life experience. I have no one to talk to, so I created this belief, and then it just got programmed into my mind. I wasn't even aware of it. Wow. So that was the experience of uncovering where I created the belief that's causing the depression.
You pinpointed the trauma at a specific age, which was 5 years old, which is a situation that happened to you, which we don't have to get into, but you were a survivor of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the depression was, so the belief was, I'm not safe. The depression was the tool to help keep me from doing anything. Mm-hmm. The depression was also a tool to keep people also attention on me. When I learned that the depression was a tool, when someone told me that I was depressed, and I learned that I all of a sudden started getting attention that I didn't get when I was not depressed. Mm-hmm. The doctors paid attention. My mother finally was just like, well, how do we help her? Like, I was getting all this damn attention, and I liked it. So in my mind, and again, subconsciously, in my mind was like, oh, depression's how you get love and attention. I didn't know any of this shit was happening. So why would I let it go if that was how I got attention?
So sad.
So this all kind of led. So you're healing from ayahuasca. You can say that you were. Could you say that you were healed from ayahuasca?
I think ayahuasca did what nothing else could do before. It allowed me to see where it was coming from, held me to let it go. Mm-hmm. And so, yes, that was healing.
So that kind of led you into what you do now, which is hypnotherapy, which is biohacking the subconscious mind.
Yes. So the big the second part, and the biggest thing to any type of healing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Once you change the belief, you still have all the behaviors and the patterns and stuff that you created. Uh-huh. So the second most important thing, which takes much longer than the 6-hour session, is the integration, the processing of everything. Mm-hmm. And so that's where I came in. I wanted to help people feel the relief from and the healing that I did with ayahuasca, but not everyone can do plant medicine.
Yeah. You wanted to do it without
Not everybody
ayahuasca.
can fly to Peru.
Not everyone can fly to Peru. Not everyone can handle the medication. I mean, the medicine.
We all know I couldn't. Like, let's get real.
No.
I could not. I could not. You'd
be the girl
I'd be like,
running around butt naked in the grass.
Open the door.
Like, excuse me, mine's broken.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm out. These doors, fuck this shit. This door won't open. I'm done.
You know what? There was a girl in my ceremony. Like, I'm revealing all this deep ass shit, and she's just like, I don't know. There was this dragon, and I was flying around in this dragon for an hour, and then this alien came with his sparkly penis, and we had sex, and it was amazing. And I'm like, how do I sign up for that? Freaking.
You're like, whoa. Yeah, like, you're like, whoa. You're like, I've gotten tricked doors. I have to go into a dungeon. I have like all this.
I had to babysit this little girl. No.
Yeah, right. She wouldn't come out forever. It was like a toddler. Like, get out here.
She's getting
and this other girl's just like freaking.
I'll take pegging by a dragon.
Yeah, Game of Thronesing, like just living her best life. Golly.
Oh my god. Okay, so
all right. So
that girl,
you take a big risk when you do ayahuasca, dragon,
you never know.
pegging, or
great experience for her.
Yeah.
But as far as like the hypnotherapy goes, can you explain that a little bit?
Absolutely.
This is what you do now. You biohack without ayahuasca, just with people themselves with this.
Yes. So understanding that not everyone could do the medicine. Also, even if you could, processing it is difficult. There's not a lot of integration going on afterwards. So people will go, like, I've met people, they're like, oh yeah, I've taken it like 100 times. I'm like, why do you keep doing it? You're not doing it right. You're not processing it. So when I started looking for a method that would help give you the same results as ayahuasca, but also add in the integration part. There's not really one out there, but what I found an advanced version of hypnotherapy. It's called Rapid Transformational Therapy.
Okay.
It's by a woman named Marissa Peer, who was a psychotherapist for, 30 plus years.
Okay.
And a hypnotherapist. And she created a formula, like a method to using hypnotherapy, cognitive behavior therapy, regression therapy, which is looking back in your life.
Yeah.
Or even past lives. That's fun. And talk therapy all in one session. It's about 2 hours. I usually take about 2 hours for a session to uncover the root cause, to reprocess it, remove the belief that's not serving you, and to reprogram a new belief.
So basically to rewire your brain.
Yeah. Yes. You're so smart.
I try.
Dang.
Yeah. And so when I started looking, I found a Dr. Joe Dispenza, Bruce Lipton. These guys.
Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Yeah.
Yeah, I follow him.
He was 20 years younger. Just kidding.
Yeah, right. I follow your podcast.
Hey.
Well, I'm also I was single, he was single, and
yeah. Gotta shoot your shot.
No, but these people these neurobiologists have uncovered. They're proving all this stuff that's been around for years. Hypnosis has been around for centuries. Only I think the 20th century they really started using it for medical purposes or findings, like it becoming evidence-based. And so essentially what it does is hypnosis itself it puts you into a trance or a hypnotic state. Hypnotherapy helps you to therapize in a hypnotic state. So what it looks like is
your subconscious.
Yes. So hypnotherapy or hypnosis helps at a subconscious level. So we have two parts of our mind. We have conscious mind and subconscious mind. Right now we're talking consciously. We're using the conscious mind to talk. The subconscious mind, however, is the one that runs the show. You probably heard
the one in the back. Right?
Well, the subconscious mind is it's the programming that we have.
Okay.
So it is I think it's 95% of everything that we do is run by the subconscious mind. So Joe Dispenza explains it really well. Our thoughts create our emotions. Our emotions cause us to
react,
right? Which creates behaviors when we have patterns and routines over time, which create our personality. And our personality, the routines that we have, how we think, who we choose to have in our life, who we don't have in our life, jobs all these different things create our reality. So if we want to change our reality, we don't go to the thoughts. That's where I kept getting stuck. The self-development was, I'm trying to change my thoughts. I'm trying to change my thoughts. The thoughts come from beliefs. The beliefs are in the subconscious mind. So when I wasn't aware that my beliefs about I'm not safe was creating all my depressions was created my thoughts and emotions and actions. So when I getting to the subconscious mind is in changing or identifying the belief, and then you can change it. So the subconscious mind, the way you access it, I think was what you were asking, is through hypnosis and meditation. Those are the two main things. Some people say like, oh, I have a hard time meditating. I can't think or focus. Hypnosis would probably be better for you because then you're having someone helping to guide you.
Yeah,
and it takes
guide you through it.
Yeah, just like you do meditation, you have to
I can't meditate. I can't.
How often do you try?
I try, man. I try, and I just can't. I can pray, like I pray because I like to talk. You know, this is great, so, but meditate where you're like calm by yourself, like quiet. No, that ain't happening. I talk out loud. Like when I pray, I'm just like, hello.
That actually is a form of meditation.
Well, maybe I am then. Okay.
Praying.
Because my boyfriend walks in, he's like, who are you talking to? I'm like, Jesus. You know, like I just talk to everybody.
Yeah.
Him included.
So if you want to start accessing the subconscious mind, talk to Jesus more.
Okay.
But also start asking questions.
Oh.
When it's just like, I think saying Jesus take the wheel is
Carrie Underwood's song.
Yeah, is a Carrie Underwood song. But also, I think it's like misconstrued. I think they're telling you to surrender to the fact that you don't have control.
Yeah, you have to surrender.
Right. But you can still say like, Jesus, I need to understand where is this habit that I have coming from? Why do I, where's this OCD? Why do I have this obsessive need to be doing this? Yeah. Why do I feel the need to people please? Reveal to me in my dreams. Like reveal.
Like Jesus is revealing right now.
I'm a people pleaser.
Yeah.
So does that mean that like, can anybody get hypnotized or like more reluctant to it?
Yeah. So not everyone can be hypnotized. Narcissists cannot be hypnotized.
Woof.
Because they don't believe, first of all, they don't believe anything's wrong with them. So they're not. Yeah. So the second thing is you have to be open to it. So if you're like, I don't know if this is going to work, you can't hypnotise me. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to hypnotize.
Yeah, like because your body, you're not going to let it happen.
Because you're a narcissist.
So here,
that should be a test.
You can't.
If you start dating,
you can't be hypnotized. You're a narcissist.
Listen, I'm single as a Pringle. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do when I start dating these men is I'm going to send them to you and be like, "Yo, did you hypnotize them? Because if you didn't, they out.
If not, get out.
They out."
Yeah, this is actually my new line of business. Is like, I'm gonna vet your boyfriend.
Yes. I feel like my boyfriend would totally get hypnotized. He's chill as a cucumber. He'd be like,
K-Dog is chill as a cucumber.
He'd be like, okay, girl, let's do this.
Well, the name like K-Dog, how's not chill?
Yeah.
No, he's super chill.
He's complete opposite for me. Don't worry, I'm not a narcissist though. Well, maybe a narcissist would say that. Oh God,
no.
Oh God. Oh.
We'll do the test afterwards.
Yeah, we'll do the test.
That's why you didn't want to come in.
Yeah, right. I didn't have time, and that's a reason. Oh my gosh.
I know these girls are gonna get hypnotized by the way.
We are. Well, God, I hope so. I'm gonna get hypnotized. I'm gonna get hypnotized.
No, you're not gonna come because you don't want to be ratted out.
Yeah, right. And the host of the podcast couldn't even get it.
It's okay. Now you have a narcissist on the show. That's cool.
Well, oh my gosh. No, people, no.
No, I've dated one. It's not fun.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
I guess, Ashley really does find people that like she can now like pinpoint who one is. So it makes me feel really good. She's my best friend because
it's a tough one. And what sucks about narcissists. Yeah. I have people coming in for sessions and they're like, they list all the things that are wrong with, they think that are wrong with them. And they list like one person lists a narcissist. And I'm like, I'm going to just stop you right there. I'm like, you're not a narcissist. If you were, you wouldn't be sitting in this chair.
Dang.
And you wouldn't actually say you wouldn't be,
because you sought me out. You've been doing the work. Like you've been like, maybe you've acted selfish, but you're not a narcissist. And that guy felt such a sense of relief. I'm like, don't let anyone, I think we need to be careful with the word. The word is very loosely used. Narcissism is very loosely used, and I don't appreciate that for those whom aren't narcissists out there. It also is really prevalent too. Yes, because I mean the first thing people do is like, oh, he's a narcissist or she's a narcissist, right? It's the first thing that they go for. But narcissism is actually an adaptive, which I've learned. Thank you, bestie. That it's an adaptive behavior
Whereas like people who are sociopaths is that actually like genetically passed on.
Yeah.
So narcissists, like they don't know they are and they'll never admit it.
Yeah.
So if I could tell you like, oh, I'm a narcissist, I'm probably not a narcissist.
Oh,
yeah.
So that makes sense.
Well, we know of a few of those.
True.
Yeah. True. So, okay, wait. Is there like...
So, yeah, they're not hypnotizable. So you're...
so there is people that obviously can't be hypnotized.
Right. Right.
So like, what's like... Is there any like habits that like you can't break with hypnotherapy?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a really good question. And it really comes down to, do you want it bad enough?
Mm.
Because I do work with people who have addictions and who have alcoholism.
Oh, wow.
Who they want change. They're tired and nothing else has worked. They haven't done root cause therapy. And the reason, most likely, if they're an addict, and this is not like a genetic, I'm saying if they're an addict that's not like genetically related or predisposed, they're doing something to, this addiction in some way serves them or protects them. I do air quotes because they've created this addiction because it was serving a purpose. It was either keeping them from someone or keeping their mind
numbing it.
Exactly. Just like my depression was serving me, but ruining my life at the same time.
Yeah.
Right. So I tell people when someone says like, oh, I've been alcoholic, I've been in and out of rehab. It's like, okay, how's alcoholism serving you? Well, it's not serving my life. I'm like, no, like if you may not know that right now, but I'm gonna ask you right now, just so you start thinking about it. How's it serving you? And people usually go like, I never really thought of that. Because they're like, this can't be serving me. Like, it's ruining my life. I lost my this. I lost my family. It was like, well, no, but it's still serving. You think it's still serving you.
Yeah,
what is it doing?
There's a reason why you're doing it.
It's the reason why you keep doing it.
Yeah. And it's usually not something that's serving you currently, but it did serve you in a past before, or it served you at some point. And so when they need help figuring out, that's when I work with them. So when they're at that point of, I really do want to get it done, and I'm ready to face that shit, that scary ass stuff, that hurtful
damn
stuff.
Dungeon door.
So what's like the best success story that you've had with somebody?
Me?
No, well, I love that. That could be you. Could be it. That's what you are.
Wow.
This is the reason why I'm so passionate about it. Because I'm like, if I had to fight that feeling of the voice of saying kill yourself in good times and bad times, and I've not heard that voice in years because I finally realized where it came from. Also, the voice wasn't directly related to the little girl in the depression. That was just another symptom of it. At some point, there was at some point in my life, I realized that suicide was an option, and suicide got me attention.
Yeah.
So, yeah, weird.
Like, yeah,
but I let go of that, and it has not come back since. I've not been on medications in 5 years.
You're like one of the happiest people I know. Like, you're so fun. Like, I love being around you. Like, you're just like,
thank you.
You are love and light.
Thank you.
You are love and
Yes.
light. Okay, so I'm gonna ask, what's the like craziest thing that you've had to like try to get somebody to be hypnotized? You know,
that's like the craziest like
thing that they've had to break, that like they've asked you to hypnotize them to break.
So it's funny because do you guys? I don't know. You guys are pretty young. So do you guys remember the show My Strange Addictions?
Yes.
Okay.
Where people would eat laundry,
paper plates,
stuff, couch cushion.
Oh my god, I'm gonna throw up.
Yeah, sorry.
Ooh, I don't know why that made me really
So
nauseous.
I'm just like, I wish I'd get one of those people, but they're not going to come in because they don't want to get rid of it. So that's the thing.
They want to continue to eat paper plates.
Okay. So there's not a strange, I wouldn't say there's a strange, I would say that I'm always surprised. I'm like always surprised, not surprised.
Okay.
Every time someone's in my chair, like I hear some things, I'm just like, crap. Like, oh my God, like, how'd you get through that? Like, so I'm so glad their eyes are closed, because sometimes I'm like, oh my God, like I just,
you're like,
or I'll get emotional. Because I don't take it on, but I'm just like, I get emotional because I'm like, hurt people hurt people.
Yeah, that's my key phrase all the time. Hurt people hurt people.
And especially when it comes to parents, and I've learned this too. Like, I was really mad at my my situation, people who were supposed to protect me, and I realized I'm like, that person was just such a hurt person, and she didn't have the guidance either. She didn't even have the freedom. Like, it's not a Christian thing to do, to go and take psychedelics in the jungle and try to find God. Like, it's not it's not really promoted. So she would never imagine that. And I'm not saying that she needed that, but she wasn't really supported in her healing journey. And the way that she reacted impacted me, but it also prompted me on to fucking heal. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I've been healing, generational shit. And so I now am at a place where I'm healed because I know I'm like, thank you for that. It sucked. It was hard. And I felt like I didn't have a childhood and this and that, but thank you so much.
Yeah. What can people start doing today that you feel like can help them heal?
Yeah. So there's
or they're like get their mindset like right for like success.
When I do workshops, I start off with this. I'm like, if there's anything you today, I'm like, just write this down so you can chat GPT it later or do something.
Love chat GPT.
Yeah. Two things that you can do. One is understand that healing and real transformation where you don't have to fight against it and like try to override with and be mad at yourself and feel like an imposter. True transformation happens at the subconscious mind. So start meditating or praying. Mm-hmm. Start being being mindful of the questions you're asking, or ask for God to reveal to you things, and ask for the courage, because when things start to reveal, you get scared again. So ask for the courage to face it and to bring people in your life to help you. Yeah. The second thing is to realize that you can only operate one of two ways. You're either going to operate out of fear-based decisions or love-based. And most of us are fear-based. We do people-pleasing fear-based. Choosing a narcissist is fear-based. OCD, addictions, everything's fear-based. Yeah.
So what would give me an example of love-based?
Love-based. So me learning how to trust again, I had to make a decision of, I'm going to get up today, or I'm not going to drink alcohol, because I know when it does, it makes me feel a certain way, or it makes me. They used to call me Crystal Chandelier, because when I would drink tequila, I don't know.
Swinging on chandeliers.
I would swing on chandeliers. I would dress up like with chandelier. I went from messy and depressy to just like a hot mess. Fun, but crazy. But no. Yeah. So a love-based decision, fear-based would have been like, I don't want to feel anymore. Like, I don't want to deal with my issues. I'm stressed out. I'm going to relax. But believe it or not, that's a fear-based kind of thing. Because a love-based is, I'm stressed out and I need to reflect on what I'm thinking. I'm not going to drink alcohol because I know what it does to me. I'm not going to put myself in a situation. I'm not going to go out with, I'm not going to start dating again until I realize that I need some work to do with myself. Like, those are all love-based decisions. While the fear, So when you start to think about it, it gets easier, because you can like, okay, I realize I'm doing a fear. Let me just do the opposite.
Yeah. It takes a minute to get to a love-based type of like feel with yourself.
It does.
I feel like I've been on my own journey for a hot minute.
Yeah, and you've even said that. You're like, I'm not going to like date anybody until like I like love myself and I figure out me, and I think that's so like, I don't know, I think it's beautiful.
And dating, there's like a journey of love and fear-based. So let's say you're fear-based, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna try to do love-based actions. I'm not gonna date anybody. I'm gonna work on myself. Then you get to a place like, okay, I like the version of who I am now.
That's where I'm at now. Yeah.
And then you're gonna get to a point like, okay, I really do want to be in a relationship. You start to visualize who the person that you want to end up with, and the person, what type of woman is that kind of person gonna want? Like, okay, I'm gonna start becoming that type of person, which is only a good thing for you.
Yeah.
But then you actually start having to date, and so you have to make decisions again. You're going to get triggered with fear and want to make fear-based decisions. Oh, yeah, he's throwing too many red flags. I'm going to do this. Like, is that really red flags, or are you just projecting those old patterns that you have?
Yeah.
And so you have to sit there and think. When I started dating my guy, he's been very patient. I was just like, hey, bro, I didn't date for a while. He kind of knew my story before I went to go ayahuasca, so he knows I've been going through. So he's been supportive. But I got upset with him the other day, and I really thought like, I'm setting my boundaries and this and this, and you're disrespecting him. And it turns out, no, I actually completely overside what he was actually doing, which was, he was thinking of me. He was just going at his own pace, and I projected on him because, it took me a second to realize, I'm like, it's me. Hi, I'm the
You're T-Swift.
Yeah, I'm just like, and I had to tell him, I'm like, babe, I am so sorry. I just realized I'm speaking to you out of fear, and you don't deserve that. Please be patient with me. I'm so sorry. I took it as I wouldn't let him do nice things for me because
you took it as X, Y, and Z, and now you're trying to get to the A, B, C.
He was just hurt. He wasn't even looking. He doesn't do what women do, like think 10 steps ahead. He was just like, well, that hurts that you think that I would do something and expecting you to return something, or you thinking I'm doing something nice for you because I want you to look the other way when I do something. And I'm thinking I saw them in the belief that you have to earn love, which I learned when I was a kid. And so I projected that onto him. So it's a process. So when you start to date,
you never stop growing.
No,
dude, that's like the one thing. And I think it's like when people are like, oh no, I've grown and I'm here and this is where I'm going to stay. I'm like, that's actually kind of like, I hate using the word toxic, but it's like you're in your same toxic cycle if you think you've hit your plateau of growing.
Yeah.
Because you should continuously grow. Like I want to continuously grow till my 90s. You know what I mean?
You're gonna
like,
have to
always.
Because you're going to be in different situations that are going to trigger different things. So I can't even say like, oh, I'm a healed woman. Like I've been healing. I've healed from a lot of stuff.
I've been healing. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so before you give me your one-liner, if there's like anybody that's like skeptical about getting like hypnosis, like what would you say to them? Like if they're like I don't want to do it, but like I don't know, like you know what I'm saying?
I would say that understand the skepticism. It could come from like, well, you know, maybe their perception of like what Hollywood projects, like what
about religion? People are skeptical about that too.
Religion. I had people think like maybe it's mind control or I don't want you can't do it just like with plant medicine. You won't do anything you don't want to. It just helps you to get there if you do want to.
Okay.
And to push through. So if you saying like, I want to try it, but I don't think I'm ready, maybe you're not ready. I can't convince you.
Yeah.
You have to be at a place where it's just like, I'm willing to try anything because I can't do this anymore. And I would say to that too, do you really want to let yourself get there to rock bottom? To having lost stuff, to having lost people? Like, do you really want to get there? I tell people all the time, like, always be a work in progress. Because if you wait until you're down, you're going to use so much energy to pull you back up at a baseline.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just like, so why do that? If you have an interest and you're open, then you can do hypnotherapy. And then also find a good hypnotherapist.
I love it.
Well, we have one.
Hello.
So if you could have like one liner on your psycho.
Like
or
a mic drop.
Yeah. Like, or like just like a thought, paragraph, sentence, I don't care.
On my psycho?
Yeah. What would it be? Like to end with?
She's
like, I'm like, there's so much. Actually getting hypnosis right now.
Yeah. I guess the psycho is embrace your psycho, but embrace your subconscious mind. Wait.
Dude, that's legit. No, I like that.
Yeah.
Embrace your psycho, but embrace your subconscious mind.
Whatever.
This is something that I loved. All the answers are within you. You just have to tap into it through the subconscious. All the answers are already in you.
All the answers are within you.
Sorry.
You just have to tap into your subconscious mind.
If we could edit, that'd be great. But if we didn't,
we have the greatest guy.
Okay.
So Krystal, tell us where our listeners can find you.
Yes.
So
let's start off with your Instagram.
Yeah. So Instagram is Coach Krystal Rose. Krystal.
Yeah.
Rose.
It's with a K, people.
It's with a K. And that's gonna be Instagram and TikTok. Not as popular on TikTok, so go ahead and follow me there so I can put up those views.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. And then website is coachkrystalrose.com, so that's easy to find, or hypnotichealing.co.
I was gonna say, yep, we got some swag.
Yeah. There you'll find out the offerings that I have. These sessions are really 1 to 2 sessions. Like addictions, maybe 3 or 4. Like you get instant results. It's insane. So
that's
awesome.
That's one thing I probably should have mentioned. This isn't talk therapy where you're going to be talking for months or years. This is a instant results in one session, and your problem in maybe
a few sessions,
3 to 4 sessions. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Love it. It was so good to have you on, dude.
Yes, thank you so much for
having
me. I learned
me.
A ton. Now I need to tap into my subconscious.
Thank you for letting me share my psycho.
Yeah, definitely one of our most like interesting psychos.